Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now we're covering the Pro Division of the NASCAR Cup 9-hole tournament. It definitely feels good to be back and playing the game and creating content for everybody to follow. I appreciate you clicking on the video today. If you're not a subscriber, please become one. It would be awesome. And then secondly, if you find the video helpful, please hit the thumbs up and give it a like. All right, so I think we're going to see lower scores today, than we're used to in tournaments. Just simply because we have a couple tough par fives, right? And, you take hole number 8 is a par 4. That's pretty difficult, the eagle. So we're going to see the scores a little bit lower than normal. But the good news is here, I have a lot of drops to show you. I believe I have enough drops here to get you to a minus 14. Even though I didn't hit that, I actually got a minus 12 on both accounts, but some shots I dropped on one and others I didn't on the other. Unfortunately, I picked up a birdie on one of my accounts on hole 9, or else I would have been, at the top of the standings there, or tied for the top of the standings. But regardless, it's just qualifying. Let's go into this hole number 1. Hole number 1 is definitely a must eagle if you're going to talk about competing to win this tournament, for sure. It's an easy eagle, though. Here we're just taking a Titan ball. For players who like to play with money ball, obviously, like a wind resistance 2 power 5 ball would be huge. Power 4 ball, wind resistance 2, that would be awesome as well. And I just say wind resistance 2 because we are getting a little bit of a flicker of tailwind. It's just ever so slightly. If you get that flicker of headwind, because the game has a little bit of variance of wind angles from player to player, you could always use a wind resistance 3 ball as well. But you can see here we're able to go with the bounce over shot, 20% elevation at max distance of our club. And that's going to leave us in here for what I played at 0%, max top spin. Pretty simple shot here. Didn't need to do anything crazy. This is a pretty easy wind angle as well. Perfect ball, dead center, picking up the eagle on hole number 1. Takes us to hole number 2. Definitely a difficult hole to pick up a hole-in-one on. I wouldn't play like a rough bump option in this type of wind. So here, we're going to go with, as you can see, 3 bars of backspin, 1.5 bars of side spin to the right. Here we want to play this one 20% at max. Kind of notice the end of my ball guideline here. I'm leaving it very well beyond the pin, and that's just because we're getting 7.5 mile per hour headwind push. And our secondary wind push is pretty big considering the landing spot is way down here on the fairway. So the ball has a lot of distance to travel from the fairway bounce to the pin. And we have to account for that. Speed is pretty good. The ball just misses to the right-hand side and goes a little bit long, but I don't think that's a big deal. I just think we need to kind of tweak our side spin a little bit to get that ball more to the pin. But like I said, difficult one on hole number 2. Okay, hole number 3. I'm going to give you a couple different ways to play hole number 3. And I'm going to do the same thing with hole number 5, I believe. For everybody who just likes to let a good ball rip. So you can see here that where we're getting tailwind. So I switched to a berserker. And I'm getting 8.1 mile per hour wind. So I'm pretty confident there that I'm able to clear this gap without going from fairway to fairway. I'm going to try to go over the water here and see if I can get close to green. So I'm going to pull this one 10%, and then I am going to push back up to max. I am going full overpower with almost full curl with my extra mile 9. APOC players, you're going to have more power, okay? And you're going to have more curl. What you can see here, we needed more curl. Man, we might have been able to get there with a little bit more curl. But regardless, I do want to show you one thing here. I did, like I said, go with max OP. But again, you APOC players that have 240 power, you could have went with that. I should have went with that, but I didn't think about it. But as you can see here, man, we don't have a lot of fairway to work with, even going max OP. But anyways, I didn't make it, but geez, a chip-in shot for a chance for an albatross, that's always nice, even if we're in the rough. Now here you can see that I was going to play the same shot again, but I have the berserker out. I was going to switch to the APOC, but 6 mile per hour wind. So that's 2 miles per hour less than my last account. So I decided to try not even mess with it. So here I am going to lay up and show you a better option, I believe, if you have lower wind, which is to go with the Kingmaker. So we get our perfect ball here, and unfortunately I get too many yards on the drive. So if you watch my rookie account, kind of the same thing. I hit the ball too far on this drive to get the rough bump that I want, because I like to play this rough bump with my Goliath. But here I have to play it with the Thorn, and it just plays a little bit weird with the Thorn. I always play it no elevation. And there, sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's line this back up. My dog is kind of bothering me to go outside, but I'm almost done, so take her out here in just a second. She distracted me. So you can see here I'm lining up with my yellow ring at the top of the rough there. Ultimately, what we should have done here is added a little bit of side spin. But the side spin typically plays weird on this rough bump, but it does look like we needed it on that wind angle. That takes us to hole number 7. Oh, I'm sorry, hole number 4. Goodness, David. Hole number 4, I'm playing 20% at minimum distance of my club. 5 bars of backspin, yellow ring on the fringe line, as you see right there. Ball guideline going to the hole. 20% at absolute minimum distance of my club. Perfect ball. The speed is really nice. What we end up doing here is we just miss to the right-hand side. The only thing that I would do to try to fix that shot a little bit is I would just offset that, okay? I would offset that to the left-hand side and try to get that ball to drop. This hole is going to provide us the best opportunity for a hole-in-one. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 different ways that we can go about playing hole number 5 here. Hole number 5, I'm going to use an APOC. And this is a little bit more of a tricky shot, especially because we're getting headwind. But I'm going to go 10% elevation. A little bit of overpower with quite a bit of curl. And you have to kind of just rewind that and get a good frame of reference for that curl on that shot, because it ended up being perfect. So you can see here, we're going to have a big advantage over the competition if we can go to fairway, because shot number 2 is going to be a lot easier to get on green when we do this. Still, I'm at max distance with my Cataclysm. But now you're going to notice here I can go 3 bars of left side spin with about half a bar of top spin, not even quite. We pull this shot here. About half a ball of curl, not even. Could use a little bit more curl, but we're safely onto the green on shot number 2 on what is a pretty long par 5. A lot of players will have to play it like this, where we're going to be lining up on the fairway. And here I used a Titan, just because I know that, using a Kingmaker wasn't really going to give me an advantage on the second shot. When you go this route, you probably have to lay up. This is what leaves us for shot number 2. Now, you could gamble, right? You could gamble for shot number 2 here and try to use your side spin and top spin and roll this ball through the rough onto the green. But worst case scenario here, you get stuck in the rough or the sand and you're taking a short chip-in shot to save your eagle. I would rather just lay up and then take the shot with my Endbringer or Thorn, just depending on the distance that you get here. Now, this is the crappy part about this account here, is that I missed the third shot for an eagle because I hit a great ball to the right or to the left, I don't remember. Either way, it didn't go in the hole, so that cost me a birdie right there on one of my accounts. But, as you see, I picked it up on the other account because we were putting in for an eagle. With this particular hole, I just play this one straight up. I'm going to play this one 0% elevation And we're going to use a Titan only because of the headwind. I went into this hole planning on using a navigator, which we still could, but the power 3 ball is going to help us fight this headwind a little bit. But you're going to see here, this is easy to lay up onto the fairway, which is going to leave us for shot number 2. Shot number 2, I normally play at minus 10% elevation, but in this situation, we're going to go for 0%. I'm going to use 1 bar left side spin so I can get my ball guideline to the hole. And here I'm using a little bit more than 3 bars of backspin. As you can see here, I'm leaving a pretty hefty tail of my ball guideline through the hole. We make our ring pull here. Perfect ball. And even though I left my ball guideline through the hole, we still come up 2 green squares short. Now, this is a more difficult par 40 eagle. You know, the other 2 par 4s in this one are difficult to eagle, in my opinion. So this one, and then of course hole number 8, and hole number 1 is almost an automatic eagle. But now that takes us to hole number 7. Hole number 7, I'm playing 10% at minimum distance of my club. Here we'll take a look at the spin adjustments. Half a bar of side spin to the right, 4.5 bars of backspin. Ball guideline going through the hole. Again, I'm pulling this one at 10%. This is minimum distance of my club. Perfect ball. Thank goodness I hit a lot of perfects today, so you can all learn from my mistakes. This one comes in a little bit too hot and to the left. So we need to add a little bit more right side spin and a little bit more backspin. But you can see we're pretty close there. You know, we came in right at the cup. We just kind of hopped over it. Brings us on to hole number 8. Hole number 8, we did pick up the eagle on rookie, and we are extremely close in pro as well. I do think a good handful of you will be able to get it based off my very narrow miss here. The drive is very simple. Again, another one I just played 0%. Katana is plenty of power to make it through this hole. Now make sure that you bring your Guardian for shot number 2, because on shot number 2, you know, we go for the max backspin approach. We try to use the back of the green to power this ball back to the cup. 0% at max with the Guardian. Again, doesn't matter your level of Guardian. Anybody can take this shot. You just kind of have to find a frame of reference point, like whatever works for you. You know, if I'm looking at my ball guideline and I was just like using a pin to draw a straight line, it would almost appear as if it would come down right at the like the dark green row, like right where the seam is, the line where the dark green and the light green meet. I feel like it's kind of pointing right down at that. Hard to judge though. You'll have to do your best to see. But if you can pick up this eagle, that's a pretty big advantage because a lot of players will not be picking this up. But the speed is really nice, and we just missed this one by a fraction to the right-hand side of the cup. So we need to move that target over just a little bit to the left. And I would never use side spin on this shot. Play it straight up backspin and try to dial it in from there is much easier. Hole number 9, I picked it up on one account, missed it on the other, unfortunately. But to make the drive easy, we're going to go with the quarterback here. You can see I'm using just a sliver of side spin to the left, a little bit more than 3 bars of top spin. I know people will ask me in comments, so I'll ask it now. You know, if you have high-level Apox or Thor Hammer or Extra Mile 9 in tailwind, do I think you can make it across the rough? I know you cannot with a Berserker because I saw 2 opponents try, and one of them hit a perfect shot with an Apox 6 and a Berserker, and he got stuck in the rough. The only thing I could tell you is if you wanted to try, you're not going to ruin your chance at the eagle because you can still lay up and have a thorn shot for eagle. So there's really no harm to try. But I would recommend if you're really trying to get there to use a snow globe ball or any ball that's a wind resistance 0, power 5. I know I get asked that every time on this hole, so I'll just cover it there. Cataclysm, full top spin, couple bars of right side spin. Here, we're just trying to power this ball really as far up the fairway as we can to get into a good distance shot with our thorn. So I play this one 0% as well. And again, I'm just trying to slam this ball as far up the fairway as I can, which you can see we execute here. And we have ourselves a nice little chance to pick up a chip-in shot for an eagle and to win the hole. Hey, this is it. We do pick it up right here. 0% at mid. I do hope you found the video enjoyable. I hope you found it helpful. Please subscribe if you're not already. And please hit that thumbs up button and like the video. And I will talk to you all in the final round. Good luck, everybody. Let me know how you do in the comments.